Let's go. There we go. Hey, everybody. John Harris here with you from the cheap seats all the way up top because that's about the only ones we can afford. Way up there. If you look up there after your nosebleed is over, you'll see us. So that's where we're at. And I'm here with my pal, Roger. Say your last name. I always mess it up.
Roger Rebegila. Roger
There it is.
Rebegila.
You know what it is? I always make the G a hard G, and it doesn't need to be. It's Rebegila.
Oh, nope, no hard G.
No hard G, yo.
No
No
hard
hard
G.
G, G.
It's good to be on, John. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. We're hoping Roger contributes as often as he can. Meanwhile, Billy's on assignment. Actually, he's not really on assignment, but he is away. He did give us regular straight picks. He didn't have time to do the picks against odds. He did a couple games, and we'll list those. I'll go over last week's results for me and Bill, which was not a good week. Oh man, we took a beating. But I think a lot of people did. A lot of
I think so. Yeah, a lot of good games.
they were good games. Bill was, where are we at here? Week 2. Bill was 8-8 regular, and against the odds 7-8 with one push. I was 8-8 regular, but I had a terrible week against the odds. The worst week I may have ever had. I was 4-11 with one push.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was bad. So for the season, Bill's straight picks is 7-9. Against the odds, he's 7-7-2, so he's back up to 500. Actually, I'm 13-3 for the season. No, I'm sorry. Oh, Bill's 15-17 straight up. I was looking at last week's, and odds, he's 14-15, not quite at 500, but close to it. We have 3 pushes for him. We both have 3 pushes, obviously. Straight up, I'm 21-11. And just ahead of him by 1 game, 15-14. So, but first couple of weeks in these things are always sketchy till you get the teams filled out. Then you'll see, and you've seen it.
Yeah,
Roger,
let's make some money this week. I
that's
feel
right.
like we can turn the table for you.
Yeah, we can get some people some money this week, baby. That's the way to go into it. So
And it
Roger,
looks like you started off pretty good. You got the Jets and the spread, right?
no,
For the first game.
no, New England. Didn't we lose that? Right?
Oh, well, I took the Jets and I took
the
New
Jets
England
to win, but
Yeah,
New England to cover, and New England didn't cover.
New England's offensive line was terrible.
It was
That was
awful.
Yeah,
Absolutely awful.
a lot
I
of
expected
injuries.
more out of. I expected them to be a little better defensively, and at least get a touchdown or so. But they just
Yeah.
they couldn't generate anything.
Hey,
So.
but it's nice to see Rogers back. He's moving again. That was
He
nice to
did move
see.
around. You're right, and he looked
Yeah,
good. It would be nice if he stays that way. That's going to make it a little tougher in the East. Uh,
they'll be dangerous.
yeah, especially with the um, situation in Miami now with Tua.
Mhm.
What we'll do
And then,
first is we will do our injury report. New England and the Jets, of course, already over. For Tampa Bay, the biggest injury is defensive tackle for Tampa Bay, the All-Pro Vita Vea is going to be out. That's a big run stopper. So
yep,
that
I saw that.
a little bit, but they're playing Denver. That'll tell you how I feel about that. You'll hear about it in the picks.
I should have battered too much there.
No, the big thing in the next game, Pittsburgh and the Chargers, is Justin Herbert's questionable.
I saw that.
Yeah, he's got
And
a.
it sounds like he's
Said,
probably not going to play.
well, they're saying now they're hopeful that he'll play, which is why they listed him as questionable. But it is listed as a game time decision. That makes it tough on the bettors. For now, well, we can go into the picks in a little bit, but Herbert's the big one that's out. New Orleans and Philadelphia, Taysom Hill is the big injury that's going to be out. I think A.J. Brown is still out for Philadelphia.
AJ Brown is officially out. Yes, he's on my fantasy team. I know that.
Yeah, he is out. He hasn't been placed on IR yet, though, right?
No,
This will be the second week.
to
I think they're hoping he gets back before that 3rd or 4th week. So,
what it sounds like.
yeah. Giants and Cleveland. I have somebody's out for Cleveland.
Cleveland's offensive line is pretty dinged up. It's my team.
Yeah.
They have Wirfs is out, and I think Conklin is still injured. They're both questionable, but I think they're both doubtful.
Yeah, and Myles Garrett's out.
Myles Garrett is out?
Yeah, for Cleveland. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
For this
Okay,
week.
that's a big one.
Yep. However, they're playing the Giants, so we'll chat about that when we make the picks, I guess. Houston and Minnesota. Here's a big one. Joe Mixon is out for Houston.
I saw that.
Yeah, he's going to be out.
And Damian Pierce is out as well. They're backup, so they're really
Oh,
without a
okay.
running back.
Yeah, they're going to be hurting there. Green Bay at Tennessee. No major injuries there that we can see, unless Jordan Love does. They're talking about Jordan Love coming back in and playing.
You think he will?
Haven't made it official yet, but they were talking about he could very well be active tomorrow. Now he could
I
be
saw
active
that.
the backup instead, but for Malik Willis. But they're talking. It's a possibility he'll play tomorrow. Miami and Seattle, of course, the big concern is Tua. He's been officially placed on IR, so he'll miss the next 4 weeks minimum with his concussion. That's really the big one. Let's see if we go down here. San Francisco and the Rams. This is kind of like the OR Bowl, Hospital
Yeah.
Operations Bowl. For the Rams, Cooper Kupp's out. Puka Nakua's out. For San Francisco, Debo is out. McCaffrey's out. It looks like Bosa's going to be out, and Kittle is out.
Is Kittle out officially?
They
I saw him
said Kittle's out. He
questionable.
was downgraded a
Kittle?
little while ago
Okay.
to being out tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
well, now it says it's coming across. I got something coming across on here. Now it says Kittle downgraded to doubtful.
Okay.
They
So
changed
most
it from
likely
out to
won't play.
doubtful. So doubtful usually means you're out too.
Yeah. The
Questionable.
ER game there.
Yep. So that could be a tough one for both of them. Detroit, Arizona looks clean. Baltimore, Dallas looks pretty clean. Kansas City, of course, Pacheco's out. He's out on IR for 4 weeks with a broken leg that needed surgery. So
And I think that's going to be longer than 4 games. That's probably going to put him towards.
that's just where I was going. You're right. I think it's going to be at least 6. And it might, and they say it can be 8.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep. The Chiefs did sign Kareem Hunt, but he's not elevated off the practice squad for this week. That's the only sign that they tried to replace. Jacksonville, Buffalo, nobody of interest there that we know of. Washington, Cincinnati, same thing. Or no, I'm sorry, Washington, Cincinnati. T. Higgins will play. He's upgraded to playing. He hasn't played yet this season.
He hasn't played though.
No. And for Jacksonville against Buffalo, Evan Ingram is out, the tight end. So they are your major injury updates coming into tomorrow. And now we can actually go into some picks. I have a sheet set up here for Roger so that I can mark his down. And we are ready to go. Unless you have some updated news or anything, Raj.
I'm ready to pick them.
Okay. Denver at Tampa Bay. The spread is 6 points for Tampa Bay.
So I like Tampa, and I like Tampa to cover there. Man, Baker Mayfield's really coming on, and that really hurts as a Cleveland Browns fan.
Yeah, that's right. You're from Cleveland, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't Martha's basement.
Yeah. They didn't go to Martha's basement.
They didn't go to Martha's basement. My friends, I should tell you too, we're on Public John Media. You got a chance to see Roger does a lot of comedy here in the Northeast Kansas area, and he's really taken off, and he's really a funny guy. So you get a chance, go see his show. We're both going to be in one that you're putting on October 5th in Rossville, Kansas. That's going to be a lot of fun. And are you coming to the Fort Riley thing?
I think as of right now, I'm off the Fort Riley one. They overbooked, so yeah, you guys
I
have
think
to
they
know
were.
without me.
And it's spread out too. It's like a comic and then 2 or 3 acts and then another comic and then 2 or 3 acts. So it make it kind of difficult. So, but October 5th, Saturday in Rossville, Kansas.
Rossville, Kansas.
Going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to repost the flyer for it and come out and see us. Fun. Going to be fun, folks. Going to be a good time.
Tickets are starting to sell.
Yep. I'm fortunate enough Roger asked me to host. That's fun. And of course you're on it. And who else we have on the
Jack Merriwell, he's one of my favorite comedians from Kansas City. He's absolutely
Okay.
hilarious. He's a headliner everywhere else.
Okay.
And then I have a young guy, Patrick Merchant. He's about 21 years old, maybe 22, and he's for his age, he's going to be special. He's going to be
He's
really
killing
funny.
it, huh? That's
Yeah,
good. It sounds like we're gonna have a good time.
we're going to have a great show.
We always have a good time. So,
Yes, sir.
uh, yeah, you get a chance October 5th, come see us. We'll be in Rossville, Kansas at the American Legion. Going to be a lot of fun. Um, let's get back to football. I digress, folks, but I didn't want to miss an opportunity to let you guys know that. Also, we do have a sponsor. I'll let you know about him in more detail later. But Vineland Realty Corporation in Vineland, New Jersey, 634 East Landis Avenue for all your residential and business property needs. And I'll have their phone number and everything else here for you in a little bit, just before we go off air as well. But see my pal Dennis and his crew at Vineland Realty Corporation. Like I said, just pop in the office, 634 East Landis Avenue, and tell them you were sent by the Public John or from the Cheap Seats, either one. So, and they'll be glad to hear from you. The Chargers in Pittsburgh. The Steelers are picked by 2.5, and let's face it, we know that's, I think, because of Herbert, and that's pretty
Yeah,
certain.
yeah. I'm actually liking the Steelers. Steelers at home. I think they'll get the run game going. And I got them to cover the spread too.
Okay,
Even with Herbert, I like the Steelers there. They're sneaky good at home.
okay,
What do
yeah.
you got? Did you pick?
I think I went, and I'm going to tell you. Oh, Billy straight up took Tampa Bay. Like I said, he didn't pick anything except one other game later. Uh, I took the Chargers but I am hedging my bet. I do have a note here. If Herbert's not playing, then I may still go with the Chargers, but Pittsburgh to cover. But it's 2.5, but we do let each other know by text before the game starts. If I don't let you, well, for instance, if I don't let you know before kickoff of that game, then whatever
No.
my pick is what it is. I'm locked in. For now, I'm taking the Chargers across the board. I'm taking them both.
Sounds good.
Um, but you're right, Pittsburgh. It wouldn't surprise me if Pittsburgh figures out a way to win. I think my problem with Pittsburgh is they haven't shown enough on offense yet.
Yeah.
That's the problem. One
That's
touchdown
been their story.
game.
I mean, they play defense and they sneak them out in the end.
Yeah, sneak them out, field goals.
Pretty
And it
annoying,
might
but
be enough. If Herbert's not playing, it might very well be enough.
they find a way to win games. I don't know how,
Yeah,
but they do.
they do, especially at home. Philadelphia and New Orleans. The Saints in New Orleans picked by 3.
I got to go New Orleans and the spread. The Saints are another team that are incredibly good at home. Derek Carr looks like he found a time machine. Looks like he's
I'm with
15
you.
years younger. He's been phenomenal. And Alvin Kamara, I mean, I think he might be the best running back in the
That's
NFL right now.
definitely the most improved. That's for sure. So from last year, he looks dynamite. And
Yeah.
he's running both ways. He's got wheels and he's running through people. The old Alvin Kamara from 2-3 years ago. Uh, I did the same thing, and I'm an Eagles fan. I grew up in Philly. I root for the Eagles and I root for the Chiefs because they were two different leagues when I was a kid. Um, but I've like,
You were a Chiefs fan as a kid?
oh yeah, yeah. When they were in the
Really?
NFL, I really was. Yeah, I remember the
Oh,
days.
wow. I
I'll
forgot how old you
like,
were.
yeah, I'm an old son of a bitch. I'll tell you what.
AFL.
Yeah. Len
Wow.
Dawson, Otis Taylor, Ed Pola. I remember all them old guys. Um, used to be some great games with the Chiefs and the Raiders, and the Chiefs and the Chargers. For
The
some reason,
divisional games?
Broncos didn't seem like quite the rivalry, but when the Chiefs played the Raiders and when they played the
Oh, yeah.
Chargers, they were brutal games. They were fun to watch. So I've
Very
been
nice.
a Chiefs fan forever. Um, but they always say, it's okay to root, but when it comes to money, you got to throw your heart out the door. Don't get me wrong. If the Eagles win, I won't be sad, but I just don't see it. New Orleans offense is just tearing everything up right now,
Yeah.
and Philly's having trouble stopping the run already. I
And
think
the Eagles secondary is a little shaky to
a little
start the season
shaky.
here.
Yeah, and I think Kamara's going to run right through Philly. I think.
And no AJ
That
Brown. I
time.
mean, how much tush push can they do?
Yeah,
You can
I
only
mean,
do that 3, 4
you
times a
gotta
game.
you gotta be in the game and you gotta be at short yardage to do that, you know. So
Yeah.
unless Philly somehow can run the ball uh, on New Orleans, it's about the only way they're going to be able to do it because they're going to have to eat up the time. They're going to have to win the time battle.
And
And
Barkley does look good for in
he
the
does.
Eagles' case here. He does
He
look
does.
good. They should have given him the ball at the end of the
I
game
was just
there.
going to say that should have been a handoff. That was almost as bad as the Super Bowl play, not giving it to Marshawn Lynch years ago.
Yeah, almost.
I mean, if it was a Super Bowl, people would
Mhm.
Sirianni wouldn't even be able to step foot in Philadelphia. I mean, that's how bad it would be.
I agree.
But that was to me that was a bad offensive call. And everybody's forgetting Marshawn Lynch had 15 drops last year. He dropped a lot of balls out of the backfield passes last year. Not fumbles.
Marshawn Lynch,
Or not Marshawn Lynch. What did I say? I meant Saquon.
Saquon, yeah.
Saquon, a lot of drops last
15.
year.
Wow. That is a
Yeah.
lot.
So I saw it the other day. I'm like, that's not a play I would have called anyway. If anything, it was third down. You could have done two tush pushes.
Yeah.
You might have got it on the first one. If not, you could have done the second one. Or
We would have.
and if you didn't quite get three, then you do, you know. But yeah, I would have ran the ball. I mean, even if you didn't get the first down, look where you put him, and you would have almost ran out the clock.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was to me that was just poor time management more than anything else.
Yeah, that could be
Can't
a
blame it
season
all on
changing.
Barkley, but it was a bad play call and bad time management.
That could be a
Um,
season changing decision there.
It might
You,
be. You
yeah,
never
you want to
know.
get those wins
Tiebreaker
early.
could come down to one game and could knock you out,
Yeah.
or your seed could be terrible. Instead of winning a division, you could be a wild card and have to face somebody tough. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's not a good move. Giants in Cleveland. Cleveland is picked at home by 6.5. Like we
It's
said,
up to six and a
Garrett's
half
out.
now.
Cleveland's offensive line's all chewed up.
Yep, and they're without Nick Chubb still. He probably won't be
Yep.
back till the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go with the Browns. 6.5's a lot. I'll take Cleveland to cover the spread as well. The Giants, though, I think there's a little promise there with this Malik Neighbors kid. He looks
I
like the
do like
real
him.
deal.
I do like
Yeah,
him.
looks like the real deal. And Daniel Jones
Yeah.
might actually start slinging the ball around.
Hopefully he does slinging it to him because that's about the only shot they got. I think
That's it.
they're not running the ball well. They don't have another receiver. And then when Darren Waller retired, they don't have a tight
Yeah,
end.
it's true. They have a solid defense.
Yeah, that's what keeps them in games so far. But I'm with you. I took Cleveland, and I still took them across the board as well. I took Cleveland to cover, but it wouldn't surprise me if somehow the Giants cover. But Cleveland's going to win the game, and I still think Cleveland's going to cover, though Watson needs to go.
Yeah, he might
But down the
just need
road,
him.
that might be something that'll happen through the NFL because of this latest allegation. So
Yeah,
we'll
gonna
see
say
what happens.
he just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, they
He
need
must
to.
not be getting the good
I mean, we
massages
we
anymore.
can make some jokes and just say, this whole Watson deal rubs me the wrong way. Stuff like that. Yeah.
There
But
you go.
you got to massage his ego too, to get him back in. But I think I he hasn't played well since he went to Cleveland anyway.
No, he had like one good game last year, then he got hurt, and then
Yeah,
hasn't
he
been the same.
played well at all. And
How does a guy go from being a top 3, top 5 guy to almost being unstartable?
a scrub. Well, it tells you how
Wow.
good the rest of the team was around him,
Yeah,
for one thing, and maybe the better coaching. Um, I think the other team too was that long layoff
that hurts. Yeah,
because of being off. The best thing that would happen for Cleveland is if the NFL says we have to ban him, for life because of all this other. That gets Cleveland out of the contract, which then opens up cap space, and they can either draft somebody, sign somebody, trade for somebody. But if that because that way they would get rid of his salary, and he would also
that's $100 million because they still would have to pay it. They still have 2 more years
guaranteed.
of guaranteed. Yeah,
Yep, it's
and that's
guaranteed.
the craziest contract ever.
Ever.
Was it 250 million 5-year, almost fully guaranteed?
Yeah, all guaranteed.
Yeah.
I mean, that was unheard of at the time. I think somebody else just signed one that's mostly guaranteed too. But It's unheard of, and it's not smart business when you have a
Well,
cap. Because what are you telling the rest of the team? This one guy is more important than all of his. I mean,
yeah,
you're always going to pay your quarterback the most if you have a franchise quarterback. But when you guarantee it and you make it that high, you're pretty limited what you could put around him too.
yep. That you got to draft rookies and deal with the veterans that you got.
Yep. Yep. Houston and Minnesota. Houston is picked by 1.5 in Minnesota. And like we said, Joe Mixon is out for Houston, and so is the backup running back, right?
Damian Pierce is out too.
Damian
Yeah,
Pierce is
I
out.
like Minnesota. I mean, I think that was the biggest shock last week. They were at home. They're at home again this week. They beat the
Yep.
49ers. I think they'll take the Texans again, Minnesota, and then
I it, that was exactly my pick. It is. I
yeah,
took Minnesota. First off, it's
yeah,
only one, and it's in Minnesota. Sam Darnold looks like he may have found a home.
he looks like a first round pick.
He looks like
Yes,
that first round pick years ago that maybe
yeah,
somebody finally figured out instead of making Sam play our offense, why don't we get an offense that fits Sam?
and it
And
also
he
helps
really
having
showed.
Justin Jefferson.
And you got Justin. Now he was hobbled when he came out, but I didn't see him listed on the injury report.
I didn't either. Nope. And it's
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson. I
I
think I can complete passes to him.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. I mean, I could throw it from here and hit him in Minnesota, and he's
From the
going to break it enough tackles to score. So I
all
mean,
the way from the cheap seats, huh?
all the way from the cheap seats, baby, we'll just throw it straight down. I don't need a rotator cuff to hit Jefferson.
No,
Uh,
sir.
but I do like Minnesota in this game. I really do. And 1.5 probably sounds right. I mean, because I think it's going to be a tough game. I
Yeah.
like CJ Stroud, and I like their offense. Good
CJ
steady
Stroud's an
defense.
incredible talent. There's
Yep.
a lot of great receivers there. I just think going on the road there, I'm going to give the edge to Minnesota.
Yeah, it's exactly the reason for me as well. They're fairly even teams to me.
Yeah,
If they're healthy, they're fairly even right now, I think. Um, unless Darnold was just lucky and played out of his mind for 2 weeks. We'll see.
possible. And Houston on a neutral field, I would take Houston. I think they're one of the better AFC teams overall.
Yeah, I think you're right. It wouldn't surprise me if they get to the conference championship against
Yeah,
somebody. I'm hoping the Chiefs, but
we'll see. We'll see.
yeah, you never know. I mean, I
Chiefs,
think the
Jets.
Chargers are going to improve. I think the Raiders are going to improve. Baltimore's good. Baltimore won't be scrubs for long. They just
No,
real close games. And
too much talent.
Cincinnati, this is the time of year they wake up now. Week 3, week 4, they start playing. Um, Green Bay and Tennessee. Tennessee is picked by 3.
And I
Now,
like Tennessee. I like Tennessee at home, and I'm taking the spread there. I know they
okay,
haven't been great. Levis, the quarterback, I think he's a great young talent. He hasn't shown anything yet. I think he's gonna have a breakout game here, and they're gonna win. Green Bay,
okay.
Malik Willis had a great game last week. I don't think he's the guy. If Love's not starting, I'm going Tennessee all the way.
Well, good. We got a difference then. I'm going to take Green Bay all the way.
All
Uh,
right.
I think Josh Jacobs might be able to gain some heavy yardage on Tennessee, and Malik Willis is at least mobile and can run around a little bit. And like we said, there's a chance Jordan Love plays. They haven't ruled him out.
That would change it. That would change everything. But
And that would
I'm
change everything.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm sure he won't be as mobile as normal, but he's already shown he can throw from the pocket as well.
Oh
So
yeah. I'd be surprised if he plays, to be honest, John.
I would. I think you're right. He might dress and be listed as a backup or the inactive, but that third string that can dress in case the other 2 are injured or something.
Mm,
They have that rule set up again now, which I kind of
yeah.
like.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. But you're probably right. And I agree. But either way, I think it'll be a close game, but I think Green Bay will win it, even if Malik Willis is your quarterback. Um, so that'll be fun to watch because we both have that as a different game. Billy picked Green Bay as well. So okay. And he picked them across the board. So well, he didn't. I'm sorry, he only picked the game. I picked them across the board. Chicago and Indianapolis. Indy is picked in Indy by 1.
I'm going Colts at home. I like
I'm
this
with you.
Richardson kid. He's a great athlete, strong arm. Can he make the right decisions is the question. And then on the
Yeah.
Bears side is what I'm more concerned about. Caleb Williams. I mean, I think he's the full package. He just has not shown it yet.
No,
He's having those rookie
no.
struggles. If he can get it figured out, I mean, we're talking a different ballgame. But right now, I'm going to go with the Colts at home.
Yeah. I think the problem for Caleb Williams is his line. The O line,
Yeah,
I think, is he seems to have pressure in his face all the time. Uh, and I think he's been a little hesitant on some throws. Like instead of just pulling the trigger, he's waited that split second too long,
yeah,
and the opening is gone. Uh,
nope,
I
absolutely.
think
That's a
I
rookie
think
tendency where they
yeah,
hold the
that's a
ball
rookie
just
tendency. It's one or the other. You're either trying too hard to force the ball in, or you're hesitating and you're not throwing it when you need to. But that comes with experience. I mean, if he's got the talent, they'll work with him on that. A good coaching staff will work with him on that and get him through that. But that's going to take time.
yeah, I absolutely
Um,
think he has the talent. It's just going to take some time, like you said.
yeah, I think that's all it is. He's mobile enough. He's kept them
Yeah,
in the game. Let's face it, they won a game because he kept them in it by being able to run around a little bit.
and
Uh,
only throwing for 98 yards. So yeah,
yeah, yeah, but they won the game. He
yeah.
he managed the game well enough that they were able to win it. So that's what's big there. Is he didn't lose the game for him. Uh, Carolina and Vegas. Vegas is picked by 6. Of course, the big news out of Vegas is Bryce Young is now benched, and Andy Dalton is your starting quarterback for the Panthers. Um, Vegas last week came back. I mean, they were down. They should have been beaten, and they came from behind and won the game. Um,
Yeah.
have to
I
give
like the Raiders. I'm taking
Garber.
the Raiders at home,
Okay, I think I did too.
and I'm taking
It
the
took
spread as well.
I took Vegas to win, but I took Carolina to cover just because of Dalton. I think he might keep him close if he's not hurt.
The
Uh,
Red Rifle.
my other problem is as I'm worried about Dalton getting hurt with that line because he's not mobile. Yeah, he's
No,
a pocket guy.
and
He
he's almost
did
your age.
pretty close. Yeah, pretty close. I mean, if he had the Where's Waldo glasses on, well, they'd probably pass us for brothers. He'd just be the
Yeah,
skinnier. Yeah,
and the red hair.
and the red hair. Yeah, mine's gray now, so
Yeah.
both of them. Uh, Miami, Seattle. Of course, the most unfortunate news you can imagine if you're not a Miami fan, but an NFL fan, really, is Tua being out with another concussion. Of
Yeah,
course, there's people already saying he should retire. Um, and don't get me wrong, maybe he should, but I think that's a decision he has to make.
and
Um,
his family.
and his family. It's not, yeah, he needs to listen to his family. Um, Mike McDonald, when he came off the field, they said, "What'd you whisper to him?" He said, I just told him he's the starting quarterback of his family.
Yeah, no, that was a beautiful thing to say.
Yeah,
Yeah, you never want that to happen to anyone. My recommendation to him would be take the season off and then see
yeah.
how he comes back
And that's what he did not last year, year before.
the year
And that's why
before.
he came back last year because he had
Yeah,
that
but he had multiple
early.
concussions.
He had multiple concussions. They were both within 4 weeks, I think. And after the
Oh,
second one, everybody said, okay, he's taking off the rest of the season. And that would be the prudent thing to do. But it is so early that you wonder, will he do that?
so starting for Miami now is Skylar Thompson.
Skylar
He's a
Thompson, the former K-State
Bay
quarterback,
State boy.
and
Yeah,
he
so
played quite a bit last year. He's obviously not Tua, but he is mobile,
and
uh,
he's had some moments.
and he's had some good moments. And of course, at this time, he's had time to work now because he had the short bye, as they say. Um, they are playing, but they're playing Seattle.
In
Um,
Seattle, right? It's
in
in Seattle.
Seattle, yeah, and it's a 4.5 point spread.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Never an
go with
easy place.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Seattle. Oh, Mostert's out for Miami.
Mostert is out, yeah.
He Mostert. So that hurts Miami as well. Um, so I'm gonna take Seattle across the board.
Same here.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that's what you said. I knew you said Seattle, but I wasn't sure if you were gonna cover them with it too.
Yeah, I got him a cover as well.
All right. We talked about all the injuries the Rams and the Niners have. The Niners are picked by 6.5. I have the Niners winning the game, but with all the injuries, the Rams covering.
Yeah, I'm the same there. Yeah, where's the offense going to come from for the Rams? That's going to be
Rams.
interesting.
Yeah. That.
Yeah, I'll take the 49ers to win and also but I'll take the Rams to cover.
Yeah. The only reason I'm taking the Rams to cover is again, I mean, you only have Ayuk and the backup running back. Oh, what's his kid's name?
Mason.
Mason.
Jordan
Who looked
Mason.
good.
Yeah.
He looked good. I
He
mean,
looked very good.
he
Yeah.
looks good. But when you know you only have to worry about two real big threats.
Yeah.
I mean, the fullback, oh, I can't remember his name. It was just in my head.
Juszczyk.
He's gonna get some action. Maybe at
Yeah.
tight end. And he
Oh,
might,
that's interesting.
yeah, and he might come out smelling like a rose on it. He might help him.
And then the Debo loss is a big loss because now you don't have to worry about the inner rounds that they like to run with him.
That's right.
That really opens the field up.
You might see him with Ayuk, but if you're focusing on him because he's their biggest weapon now,
yeah, don't have to worry about downfield.
No, it's not like the old days when you had to worry about Steve Young taking off with the football either. You know, you don't have that anymore. Or Colin.
I do remember Steve Young.
Yep, and Colin Kaepernick would do the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're on the same page there. Niners winning the game, Rams covering only because it's such a big spread.
It's a little too much.
Yeah, if it was 3 or 4, I would just stay with the Niners. But too big a spread for me.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit, especially since it's in LA.
Yeah.
Though
and
LA,
Stafford's no slouch.
No. Oh no, Stafford's a good quarterback, and he's tough as nails.
Yeah. And it's a divisional game. They tend to play a lot closer than they look on paper.
Yeah, they do. And LA isn't necessarily a great home field for the Rams or the Chargers.
No, it's LA. They don't really have the support.
But they don't really get vocal. And the reason they sell out is a lot of visiting teams fans go there. So not always a big home field advantage as far as the crowd is concerned. So
LA's an interesting place for that. They're more there for the status. We went to a Dodgers game and opening pitch, there was probably 15,000 people in the stands. And then by the 5th inning, it was full. Like they show up when they.
Yeah. And then probably the end of the 7th inning, they're all leaving.
Yeah. Yep. They left before the game was over.
Yeah. Before the game was over. So.
Sorry, I got the kids here invading my space. Got 6 of them.
In your studio, huh? In the Double R studio. Detroit and Arizona. It's in Arizona. The Lions are picked by 3. Arizona's been surprising.
Absolutely. Kyler Murray's healthy now. I mean, he's doing what he's doing, and he's got someone to sling it down the field to. Marvin Harrison could be the best receiver in a year or two. I got Arizona. I got Arizona to win and to cover at home. Yeah.
Okay. I took Detroit, so that'll be interesting too.
The Lions looked a little stagnant last week.
Yeah, they did. The only thing is, I think that's usually the wake-up call for them, especially for their coach, for Dan Campbell.
Yeah. No. Yeah, he doesn't mess around.
Yeah. So I took Detroit for that. So that'll be interesting. But you're right, Arizona, they keep playing the way they did last week. They're going to be up and coming. They're going to get in it. There were people them to get in the playoffs before the season.
Yeah, especially at home. I think they're going to be fun to watch at home. I think once it gets a little colder and they go on the road, they might struggle. But
right, yeah,
that's their heat.
East Coast trips, they get tough.
But hey, John, can I make a change here? So for the Cleveland game, I had it written down here. So Cleveland, I will take the Giants to cover, not Cleveland to cover.
Okay, I
have that written down. I don't know why I said differently.
Nope, I got it. Done.
And you like the Lions?
I took Cleveland all the way through, so that'll be fun. Yeah, I like the Lions on this game, on the Arizona game.
And to cover?
And to cover. I'm going to take them across the board.
All right.
Probably be a push. Probably kick a field goal in the end.
Yeah, there's no hook on there.
No. Baltimore and Dallas. 1 point. It's in Dallas. Baltimore's picked by 1.
I'm going Cowboys. I'm going Cowboys at home again. Yeah, I'm going with the home team. It seems like home team in a close game like that. Baltimore has not looked good. They haven't looked great, I should say. And you're right. I mean, this could be them waking up because they got one of those hard coaches too that always has them ready to play. But
and you know what,
Cowboys
they can't fall down 3 games because believe it or not, Pittsburgh being 2-0 in that division, if they
Yeah,
win a third game, you're down 3 games now. You're down quite a bit. I
that would
think,
be huge.
yep. I think Baltimore is going to fight tooth and nail, and Dallas has been inconsistent too so far, though. That's the thing. I mean, they
They
looked
have
great
been
against I can't remember who it was, but then they looked terrible against New Orleans last week.
awful.
Yeah,
I think they'll bounce back. I got the Cowboys. Who do we got on the other side there?
Baltimore,
Baltimore.
Jackson, Derrick Henry, uh,
Yeah,
likely, the tight end who's really
Zay
coming out of
Flowers,
the Yep,
Andrews.
Flowers. But Baltimore's defense isn't as good as it has been in years past,
No,
at least not yet.
no,
So,
it's not. It's not dominant.
no, I think part of Dallas's problem could be the running game. If they can't get it going,
No,
then Baltimore's D line will tee off and they'll be coming. So
that's possible. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but
Zeke doesn't have the legs he used to have, and none of these
no,
young guys are really breaking through.
yeah, that's
Quite.
the problem. I think they thought one or two of them would really break through, and it hasn't happened yet. So. All right, Sunday night, Kansas City is going to Atlanta. They have the Chiefs picked by 3.
I'm gonna do it again. Atlanta at home. I think that was a big victory there. And Kirk Cousins has not been playing super well, and I think once he gets going, Atlanta could be a formidable opponent here. And I'll take them to cover. Well, they will cover. Yeah. So Atlanta
Well, if they
and
win, if
cover.
you're picking them to win, then they'll
Yeah,
obviously
they
cover.
cover. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I'll go Atlanta. I'm gonna do it.
okay, I got you.
Ruffle some feathers.
I'm gonna stick with the Chiefs. I just think they have too much firepower, even though, like we said, they are hurting without Pacheco a little bit. But I think that'll make them look for Travis Kelce more because I think he only had 1 catch last week.
He wasn't
Another
very
one they
alive
got brought
last
back
week.
by a penalty, but yeah,
What do you think about this Carson Steele kid?
I
We
like him.
haven't seen much from him. You do like him.
No, a little bit more last week. I think you're going to see a lot more of him this week. I like the kid. Uh,
Really?
you can tell Andy Reid's got confidence in him because even after he fumbled, he let him go back in. Um, and he had a couple other options. So I think he's going to be featured quite a bit more Sunday night.
Do you think you can get the ball 15 or 20 times a game?
15. I don't know about 20. I
15.
think
Okay.
15. I think 15. I think he's a Juszczyk light kind of a guy. You know what I mean? He's more of a
Yeah.
fullback type. He'll catch the ball out of the backfield. He runs over people, runs through the line. I
A
like
running
that.
back and a fullback's body.
Yep. Yeah. Um,
I want to see more of him. I can't commit to either way on
yeah.
the kid.
Yeah. And I'm the same way. I mean, 2 weeks doesn't prove anything, you know.
And then on the other side, Bijan Johnson could be one of the top running backs here by the end of the
Man,
year.
he does look good. He looks good.
Give him the ball and let him go.
Yep. And I thought Atlanta didn't do that enough, which was probably the only reason that game was close, to be honest with you.
I
Like
agree.
not at the end. At the end, they had to do what they had to do. But you can't fault that drive. That was a remarkable drive.
Yeah.
Uh, that's the problem with a Vic Fangio defense. They don't blitz. They don't put pressure on the quarterback. Um, but situation like that, you got Cousins, who's not the most mobile guy in the
No.
world. So you got to figure out a way to put some pressure on him, whether it's stunts, whether it's crossovers in the D line, whether you do send a blitzing linebacker in once in a while just to show something, or get a little pressure going. But he had a lot of time to sit in the pocket, and he just picked Philly apart and went downfield like it was nothing.
Yeah. In the second
It
half,
was still a great performance. It really was.
yeah.
He still had to do it, and he did it. But I think that that was a mistake on Philly's part. But they deserved it. Atlanta deserved the win. And I felt like even when the Eagles did something, it was almost like a counterpunch in boxing. Like they weren't the aggressor. To me, Atlanta looked like the aggressor the whole game.
Yeah. No, Philly had to get it more aggressive early on.
Yeah.
They took the foot off the pedal.
Yeah. Yeah. And without AJ Brown, you can see the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, they just double covered Devontae Smith. He didn't get much all day because he just couldn't get to him. Barkley, like you said, was a beast.
Yeah,
Problem though is, that was just a bad play call.
at the end.
Yeah, and to me, that'll be the key is if for Philly against New Orleans, if they can run the ball, they'll stay in it. If not, if Kamara runs through them and they can't get Barkley going, New Orleans is going to run it up. That's my fear. Is New Orleans is just going to
I
run it
think
up.
Philly doesn't rush the ball as much. They do have a great offensive line and they're
Yeah,
good run stoppers. I don't know. It's not working out, but I think the defense is the right mentality in this day
yeah,
and age. You want to hold those safeties back, keep it in front of you.
yeah.
The cover just isn't that good right now.
Yeah, right. The coverage isn't great. That's the
Yeah.
problem. But yep, I'm taking the Chiefs. You're taking Atlanta. We're both doing it across the board. Billy took the Chiefs to win the game. That's all he has. Jacksonville and Buffalo. In Buffalo, the Bills are picked by 5. Um, I don't see anything listed for injuries on either team, really. So, Evan Ingram. I'm sorry, the tight
Evan
end.
Ingram. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going Buffalo, and I'm gonna take Buffalo to cover the spread.
I did too.
Yeah. The Bills I thought would struggle this year with all the free agency they lost. I mean, they lost Diggs, they lost
Yes,
a
he
lot of
did.
defensive players.
Yeah,
But Allen, if you have a guy like Allen,
man. And you still got
keep
James
winning.
Cook in the backfield.
Yeah, Cook is good. And then Dalton Kincaid, young tight end there,
Yeah.
Dawson Knox, they're opening it up. I would like to see another receiver pop up for the Bills, but so
Yeah,
far,
they got a decent number one. I can't remember his name, but they need,
Coleman.
yeah, but they need another one. But I'm thinking they're waiting on the draft again.
Yeah, for next year.
Yeah,
And that might be the smart thing. The other kid, Shakir, I think he's in his third year. He's been getting he's been getting catches,
yeah,
but he's not really breaking the game open like Diggs
not
was.
breaking it open. Yeah, I think they
No.
were hoping he would develop more into that, but he hasn't. Yeah, I think they'll next year try to look for a number one somewhere. Um, but yeah, we both took Buffalo across the board. And last but not least, that's the first Monday night game. There's 2 Monday night games. The second one is Washington and Cincinnati. Billy did pick Washington across the board for that one. He's a Washington kid. He grew up there. So
And that game's in Cincinnati, correct?
yes, it's a 7.5 point spread. That's a big spread.
That is. I'll take Cincinnati to win. Oh, I had them covering, but I think that went up.
Yeah, it did go up. It was I think it was 6.5 before.
It was. Yeah, I'll take Washington to cover there.
Okay.
And
I
for Washington, I like this kid, Daniels. They got great
yeah,
athlete,
I
strong
do like
arm.
it.
But is he going to make the right decisions? That's the thing with a young
That's the
quarterback, and
problem.
he seems pretty reckless.
Yeah, he does. And Cincinnati's defense is decent. It's what's kept them in the games that they've been in.
Yeah, so
So
far.
um
And you
yeah,
said
he's
T. Higgins
mobile
is back.
and T. Higgins is back. So you've got Chase and you've got Higgins back. Um so but losing Mixon in free agency hurts them a little bit.
Yeah, you see
Um
how good Mixon is now.
yeah, but of course now Mixon's out. But Mixon, yeah, now you see how good he is and
Yeah,
how much pressure he takes off the rest of the team. Um
absolutely.
But I just don't think Washington has enough offense to stick with the Bengals. And the Bengals, this is when they start to kick in.
Yeah,
Third,
you can't
fourth,
count him out.
and you can't, yeah. And it's at home. They're probably feeling like they'll need the win because if they win and Pittsburgh loses to the Chargers, they're tied for the division again.
Yeah,
So,
and that division's always going to play tough.
oh, all year long because
Yeah,
Baltimore's going to get back in it. Pittsburgh's going to hang around no matter what. Cincinnati's in it. Cleveland's probably going to figure out a way to hang around.
Cleveland's not bad.
They're all gonna beat each other up. So it's a matter of those other games. That's all we have pick wise. Other sports news, of course, Shohei Ohtani went nuts for the Dodgers and the other night. 6 for
Unbelievable.
10 RBIs. He's at the 52-52 club, the first player ever. He's unbelievable, this guy.
I can't believe it. I knew he would be good. I thought he'd be a better pitcher than he is a hitter. And look at him. He might be one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I think you already almost have to put him there. You really do.
Or at least
Um,
up there.
yeah, another year or two of good numbers, and he's a lock for the Hall of Fame if he's not
Yeah.
already. Uh, and of course, next year he'll be back on the mound. You know,
That's So incredible, man.
Yeah. He'll be back on the mound, DHing when he's not pitching, probably bat when he is pitching. Um, and they say there's a chance he'll pitch in the postseason this year if they need him, like for an
Oh
inning
wow.
or two out of the bullpen.
I didn't know that. Just let's make sure that he
Well, they said
doesn't
there's a
watch our
chance. They didn't lock it in, but they said there is a chance.
let's
Uh,
make sure that he's not watching this podcast and putting our picks in.
yeah, we don't. I don't want that. Yeah,
That's the only knock on the guy.
that's the only knock. Yeah, we don't want
Yeah,
to. Well, actually, we just got to make sure his new interpreter doesn't see our picks.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's the key. So, but no, you're right. He's a beast. He's terrible. Um, the Phillies clinched their playoff. Uh, in the playoffs, they've refused to celebrate yet. They need one more win. If they beat the Mets, they lost today, but they play the
And that's
Mets
to win
again
the
tomorrow.
division.
Yes, if they beat the Mets tomorrow, or well, the magic number is like 2 with the Mets. If they beat the Mets tomorrow, that's 2. Mets lost, Phillies win. Phillies would win the division. They are tied, I think, with the Dodgers right now for the best record in the National League.
Wow.
So one of those 2 teams will have a bye all the way through their league's playoffs.
Who do you
American
like?
League,
Who do you like in the World Series?
you know, I admit I'm a Phillies fan since I was a kid. I was also a Red Sox fan when I was a kid. Same thing. I'm a little strange for some reason.
Yeah.
Um, in that regard, 2 different leagues at the time. Now, same thing as football. They're all blended together. Um, I don't know. I'd like to say the Phillies, but everybody's like, well, why do you think the Dodgers could be better? Dodgers have some great players. I mean,
Oh, they have talent top
Freeman,
to
Mookie
bottom
Betts, top to bottom. Um,
and pitching.
pitching, well, there's the problem. The Dodgers pitching is hurt quite a bit. Their
Are they
starting rotation isn't healthy. And some of them won't be by playoff time. So that's
And then
that's the big problem.
one of their pitchers just got in some trouble this morning. I saw or last night.
Oh, really? I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
he had what's his name? Urias.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got into some domestic dispute outside the stadium. Doesn't look good.
Domestic. Well, then he'll be if it even looks like if there's video, if there's anything else, or if there's a complaint signed,
There's
he'll be
video.
Major League Baseball will ban him for a while at least. Um, that's not good for the Dodgers. Uh,
No.
I mean, Houston's come back from nowhere uh, in the American League. The Yankees have been decent all season. I hate the Yankees, but that's
Yeah, so do I. We can agree on that.
I just despise them. The Central is beating each other up. The Twins, the Royals, the
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Cleveland looks pretty
Cleveland's
good.
in first. Yeah, I
Cleveland,
think starting pitching is their problem.
yep, yep. And that's the thing with a short series in the playoffs is pitching is
Yeah.
what you need. But the good part about pitching in a short series is you really only probably need 3 good starters
Yeah,
because
and
you
then let
got
the
1,
bullpen
2,
work.
3 travel days, then your number 1 can go again. That's the key. Like in Philly, you have Wheeler, Nola. It used to be Suarez. Suarez looked okay for 5 innings, but they have Sanchez. So you have 3 good starters, and Suarez could help as well. But other than that, they're done. I don't know if the Braves are going to make the playoffs because they've had injuries and it doesn't look good for them. So, um,
Who do you like out of the AL? You didn't give me an AL team.
well, I hate to say the Yankees. I think it could come down to the Yankees and Cleveland
That'd
fighting
be
each other
interesting.
out, which would be interesting because you got offense versus pitching and defense. Basically, you've got
Yeah,
fundamental baseball versus Judge, Soto, and Stanton. Basically,
that's a
long,
lot of power.
yeah, long ballers. So and Garrett Cole to this day, I know he has a decent record, but he's never impressed me, especially in big games. Big games, he's not big game Garrett Cole. So,
That's true. Yep.
um, I personally, I'd be rooting if it came down to that. I'd probably be rooting for Cleveland, but I would be afraid of the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm afraid of the Yankees too. I got Cleveland and the Dodgers. I got LA and Cleveland. Cleveland hasn't won it since 1948.
Really? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
They're the longest team as far as an established team with a drought, aren't they? Uh,
I think so. Yeah,
I
now they
know.
are.
I know the Padres have never won. They've only went there once. The Mariners have never even gotten to the World Series.
No.
I don't think the Brewers have ever won it. They've got there. I think they got there once, but never won it.
Wow.
The Rangers was the first time they ever won it last year.
I saw that. That
Even
was
when they were the
exciting.
Washington Senators, they didn't. For years, they didn't.
And
So I, I, I just don't think you can count Houston out as much as you want to.
no,
I want to. I'd
don't
love to just sweep them out the door. Yeah, but you never
start
know. You're banging on trash cans and anything can
start
happen.
knocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? It's just Houston with the trash cans again. Don't we? So,
All right, John. Thanks a lot for
all
having me
right.
on.
No
I
problem,
appreciate it.
Roger. We'll chat again during the week and we'll go over all these again next week. And hopefully Billy will be back.
Awesome.
Go from there as well. Get the three of us on. That'll
I
be
had a
fun.
great time. I'll see you October 5th. October 5th, if you guys haven't bought your tickets, Rossville, Kansas. It's starting to sell pretty good here. Get your ticket. It's a great venue. It's an old American Legion, low ceilings, great drinks, great people. Can't wait to see you guys there. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
I think it'll be a great night. It really will be. I'm going to give you our sponsors information again. Vineland Realty Corporation, 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey, for all your business and residential property needs, whether you need to lease, buy, sell, rent out, or rent a property. Get a hold of Dennis and the crew at Vineland Realty Corporation. Their phone number is 856 690 9482. And folks, even if they can't help you directly, they're really great giving out resources too, as well, for anybody. So if you call and say, hey, I want to do this, and if they like, well, it's not in our area, but here we can find out for you who's reputable, who's good. They're great about doing that as well. So that's Vineland Realty Corporation, 634 East Landis Avenue, Vineland, New Jersey. Hey, Dennis, how you doing? I know Dennis will watch, and I like to call her his gal Friday, Helen. And like I said, their phone number is 856 690 9482. Hey, everybody, enjoy the games this week. Thanks, Roger, for coming in. Roger is hopefully going to be a regular or semi regular, whatever his schedule allows. Billy, we hope will be back next week. He is traveling. We will talk to you guys next week. Remember, you can look for us on Facebook, YouTube, or listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Have a great week, everybody. Enjoy the games.
Good night. God bless.